Hello and welcome back to Sharing with Shamika. Today I'm going to be making some neck bones. Prior to me cooking this, I did go ahead and clean the neck bones. And how I clean my neck bones is I actually put them in a bowl of water. I add in some vinegar and salt, and I let it soak for about 15 to 20 minutes. Afterwards, I pour that water off, and then I rinse it several times, just making sure that it's clean. And also remove any loose fat or anything that's hanging off the neck bones. Then I'll go ahead and I season it. The seasonings that I use is usually going to be garlic pepper, onion powder, garlic herb no salt seasoning, some Worcestershire sauce, some Cajun seasoning. I use some browning seasoning. I also use some beef broth or some beef bouillon seasoning and some black pepper. I let that sit for about 15 minutes, and then once the meat is room temperature, I go ahead and I start browning it in the pan like I'm doing here. And all I'm doing is just getting color. I'm gonna brown each side of each of the neck bones. I did this in 2 batches. And once the neck bones are brown, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add in about 2 cups of beef broth or chicken stock, whichever one you like to add in here. I usually use chicken stock. I like the flavor better. I also included some green onions and green peppers and onions in this, red peppers as well. Put it in the oven at 350 and let it cook for about 2.5 hours. Then what I usually do when I do neck bones, I usually do rice. So what I do is I rinse my rice until it's not cloudy, and then I use some of that broth that's off the already cooked neck bones, and I put that inside my the rice and bring it to a boil. And how much you put in there, how much broth you put in there is about an inch above, a half an inch above the rice that's in the pan. You can use your finger. And then once it comes up to a boil, I'll go ahead and cover the top, turn it on low, and let that cook for another 15 minutes. And after about 15 minutes, your rice should be cooked. No more water should be inside your pot. And as you can see here, how the rice is done. And I just use a fork and I just go through and make sure I have no more liquid in my rice. And you'll see it's all fluffy. And the good thing about this, using the broth from your neck bones, your rice has all the flavor and seasoning that it needs. So it has a really good flavor. It pairs well with your neck bones. And that's a meal in itself. This is an easy meal. It doesn't take a whole lot. Prepping is one of the main things. And sometimes my liquid is a little too loose, so I normally would do like a slurry, which is nothing but cornstarch and water. And this will thicken up your sauce and make a gravy out of it. You don't have to do this. I do that because I'd like to have my gravy to be a little thicker. But again, like I said, this is a very easy meal. You can make this at home. It's not hard at all, guys. It's about seasoning your meat, taking the time to cook it in the oven with a lid on top for about 2.5 hours. Maybe a little less than that. How I tell if my meat is done is when I put a fork in it and it starts falling apart. So I want to thank everybody for watching my channel. Please leave a comment. If you have any questions, please leave in a comment. I answer all my comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I sure would like your support. Until next time, be blessed and a blessing to others.